Okay, so every writer, right? It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or you've been doing this for years, we all struggle with the same thing, finding our voice. That thing that makes your writing sound like you. But here's the real question. How do you get better at it without, losing that special sauce that makes it yours in the first place?
You know who had a great take on this? The one and only Kurt Vonnegut. He basically said, forget trying to sound all formal and academic. The best writing, the stuff that really connects, sounds like a real person. For him, it was a person from Indianapolis because, well, that's what he was. And that's the key right there. Your most authentic voice is your most powerful one. It's your superpower as a writer.
So that's the big puzzle, isn't it? If your real voice is your best voice, how do you actually make it better? How do you get sharper, clearer, and more persuasive, but without ending up sounding like someone else? Well, the answer is kind of surprising. It's probably not what you're thinking.
All right, let's talk about feedback. We've all been drilled on this, right? You write, you get notes, you rewrite. That's the cycle. That's how you get good. But what if that's not the whole story? It turns out there's a paradox here. The real secret to getting better isn't just about getting feedback. The real magic happens somewhere else.
So check this out. We think the path to improvement is getting feedback from our peers. But the research tells a different story. It shows that we learn as much, if not more, from giving feedback to other people. Yeah, you heard that right. The very act of reviewing someone else's work is what supercharges your own. It completely flips the script on everything we thought we knew. And I want to be clear, this isn't just some fringe theory or a one-off study. We're talking about 10, 15 years of research here. Study after study keeps coming to the same surprising conclusion. There is some serious learning power in being the reviewer, the person with the red pen.
So, I'm sure you're a little skeptical. I mean, it sounds weird, right? Let's actually dig into the science and see what the research has to say about this whole giving is better than receiving thing.
Okay, so the findings are pretty consistent across the board. For one, people's performance genuinely gets better just from reviewing other people's work. What's also fascinating is that students themselves often feel like they get more out of giving feedback than receiving it. And this isn't just a placebo effect. The cognitive gears that turn when you're reviewing something, that's a powerful learning machine right there. And again, this is backed up by tons of studies, like the ones you see here.
All right, so we've established the what, that this works. But now for the how. What is actually going on in our brains that makes reviewing someone else's writing such a good workout for our own skills? Let's get into it.
Yeah, this is the big question, right? How in the world does looking at someone else's work help your work? It seems so indirect. But it turns out the mental muscles you're flexing are the exact same ones you need for your own writing.
It really boils down to three main things. First, you're basically becoming a problem solver. You're like a detective, hunting for weaknesses, figuring out why something isn't working, and then brainstorming a solution. That skill, totally transferable. Second, and this is huge, you get to see the work from a reader's point of view. You step out of the writer's shoes and into the audience's, which is so hard to do with your own stuff. It gives you that critical distance. And third, you're rehearsing what you already know. You're connecting the dots, reinforcing good principles, and maybe even learning something new about the topic along the way.
Okay, that's the theory. But let's make this real. Let's look at a case study. We're going to see an actual piece of writing, a first draft, and then the final published version to see this process in action. All right, here's version 1. It's from an academic article about AI training for teachers. Read it. It's fine. It's very descriptive, right? It just says, hey, Pearson did a webinar, and this is what they said. It's neutral. It gets the information across, but there's no real voice, no strong opinion or critical take.
But then the peer reviewers showed up. And they weren't just fixing commas. They were asking the tough questions. Stuff like, hey, should we really just trust what a giant corporation like Pearson is selling us about AI? And remember, your audience is global. You need to explain this for everyone. These aren't just edits. They're challenges to find a stronger, more critical voice.
And bam! Look at the published version. It's a night and day difference. That timid, neutral description, gone. Instead, we have this powerful critique calling these webinars snake oil. Now that is a voice. It's confident, it's critical, and you're not going to forget it.
So let's just put them side by side. Version 1 is basically just a description. The final version, it's a sharp, pointed critique. This is what we're talking about. The feedback process didn't just clean up the writing, it completely transformed the author's argument and voice. It's a quantum leap in quality. This is why we have to completely change how we think about giving feedback. It's not a chore. It's not just a favor you're doing for someone else. It is genuinely one of the best things you can do for your own writing. It's like your secret superpower.
There's actually a great term for this: inner feedback. Think of it like building a little editor inside your own head, an editor that's really good at spotting problems in your own drafts. And how do you train that little editor? By being an editor for other people. Every single time you review someone's work, you're making your own inner editor stronger, sharper, and more effective.
So, let's wrap this up. The big takeaway here is really simple. The next time someone asks you to look over their work, whether it's a report, an email, whatever, don't roll your eyes. See it for what it is, a workout. It's a training session for your own craft. Every comment you write is like another rep at the gym, making your own writing muscles stronger.
So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. The next time you're reviewing someone else's writing, what are you going to be on the lookout for? And maybe more importantly, what do you think you'll find when you turn that newly sharpened eye back on your own?